Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course drop me a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 14 of Stormbringer magazine, and we have some new additions to our Ogre war clans. So we have the man-skewer bolt boys from the Crawl Boys range. These guys are pretty cool. They're crossbow wielding Oryx. They have nice fiddly bits on here. I'm not going to lie, some pieces will snap, which is an absolute pain in the ass. However, you know, when they're done, they look really good. So pieces that will snap are obviously your fin pieces. So pieces like this up here, number 20, 39 and such like, all these little bits where these little fiddly bits can snap very, very easily. If you do snap one, not gonna lie, take your time with it, you can fix it. So a little bit of glue, being a bit careful with it, push it back into place with a little tiny bit of glue on the end of it. If you put too much glue on there, it's not a problem though, so don't worry. You can smooth it back out with a hobby file or a little bit of like an emery board or something like that, and you can fix it. So do not worry, it can be sorted if they break. It's just a bit tricky, a little bit time consuming, but it can be done. Anyway, into this week's issue. So first off, we're greeted by the Ogre mawtribes. So the Ogre mawtribes have an unmatched hunger for battle. They see rival armies as fresh meat ready to be butchered and eaten. Even a single ogre is dangerous, but a mawtribe of hundreds of ogres is all but unstoppable. These nomadic groups roam across the realms in ever-expanding maw paths, smashing, killing and eating anything and anyone they find. Mawtribes have their own cultures and ways of war, but are all united in one principle: the strong lead and the weak are eaten. So, the Ogre mawtribes, obviously ogres being big, kind of humanoid kind of creatures. They're gluttonous, they like smashing things up, they're generally very violent, they don't really do a lot of plotting or anything like that, or major thinking power behind them, and they will eat anything and everything in sight. They're pretty cool, I do quite like them. I have a few, not many, from one of the old kind of game boxes that have been released. They're not too bad, they're chunky boys. That's the best thing way I can describe them. That they're quite fun, and they fit in perfectly with the Forces of Destruction as well. So not bad at all. They do sometimes have grots with them that will accompany them, whether they're used as little slaves or anything like that, because grots are generally weak. The ogres sometimes just utilise them to be kind of like, you know, cooks, or, you know, standing around carrying banners, carrying weapons for them. Just, you know, generally just being there and to be annoying. So with the ogres, there are different kind of groups within the ogres. There are two main ones being the gutbuster ogres. So gutbusters are ravenous scavengers. The armies that they leave in their wake are not just picked clean of flesh, but of treasure and weaponry. Charging ogres are supported by scrap armoured iron guts and cannon bearing lead belchers, who wield a scavenged artillery as a human might wield a rifle, because, you know, they're a bit crazy like that. Then there are the beast claw ogres, when I can't speak. Beast claw ogres are masterful hunters who stalk the realms from the back of giant colossal war beasts. Not even city walls can stand before their monstrous mounts, and these beast claw raiders channel ferocious weather magic as well. So there are many different ogre war clans that you can get and you can bring into it, and the mawtribes are quite cool, and some of them have some very imaginative beasts that they can utilise. Moving on though, we get more information for our Stormcast Eternals, so forging alliances. So the Stormcast Eternals may be strong, fearless and well armed, but they cannot reclaim the realms alone. Their greatest weapons are the alliances they have made, both with the beasts of Azir and beyond. So, Azir, the realm of heavens, is home to many magical creatures. These beasts are charged with the same holy lightning used in Stormcast Eternal's forging, and they are loyal, intelligent, and powerful in their own right. The creatures of Azir have been allies of the forces of Order ever since Sigmar befriended the great stellar drake Dracothian, and swift Aethwings are loyal spotters and companions to Stormcast marksmen, swooping to claw out the eyes of any enemy that would sneak up on them, and avian griff chargers and prowling Dracolines make fine mounts for Stormcast Eternals, and of course don't forget they also have Griffhounds as well, which are even smaller versions of Griff Chargers really. But yeah, really cool stuff there. We get a bit more information about the other bonds from other celestial spheres, so obviously the Stormcast aren't just friends of the good old animals of Azir. They have formed alliances with other races. So there are the Aid of the Enlightened, obviously the Lumineth Realm Lords, who wish to restore the Empire in the realm of light to its former glory, and have allied with the Stormcast Eternals to cleanse their home of corruption. The old oaths restored, the flaming warriors of Fyreslayers pride themselves on never breaking an oath. The coming of the Stormcasts have allowed Fyreslayers to restore their lost honour. The support from the stars, the reptilian Seraphon have long been allies of Sigmar, for they too are charged with the divine light of the stars. Many temple ships dwell in Azir itself. A light in the abyss, the soul-stealing raiders of the Idoneth Deepkin have formed a tenuous alliance with the Stormcast, lending their oceanic power to Sigmar's crusades. And then there are, united in bloodshed, the Daughters of Cain have battled alongside the Stormcast Eternals in order to slaughter the forces of Chaos, whom they despise above all else. So, out of all of them, and there are 5 major kind of allies in the forces of Order, the 2 that stand out the most, Idoneth Deepkin and the Daughters of Cain, are the ones that are the most kind of strained relationships. So the Daughters of Cain obviously being elves that follow Marathi and worship the god of murder, Cain. And then you have the Idoneth Deepkin, who steal souls, raid the lands of mortals to kind of help themselves out and their own civilization out and their culture and stuff like that, and they use these souls to kind of increase their ranks and swell their ranks, giving it to the half-souled like Namatai and stuff like that. So, and the laws completely nuts. They're the 2 that you wouldn't think would be allies, but they are. But they're pretty cool. The other 3, good old the Lumineth Realm Lords. Obviously, the Lumineth Realm Lords are essentially like the Tau in 40k. They're all about the greater good. They want to see every bit of evil scourged from the land and every bit of darkness, and they want to bring the light and enlightenment to every corner of the mortal realms. The Fyreslayers, being Fyreslayers, they're dwarves. They like killing things, they like chopping things up, and they have an oath to seek heroic doom and stuff like that. And then the Seraphon. The Seraphon are also all about greater good. So they will appear and disappear. They can kind of materialise. They can be dropped in from good old temple ships and much, much more. So they're pretty cool. And out of all of them, I'm not going to lie, I have some Lumineth Realm Lords, unpainted still. I have some Seraphon. The Seraphon are really cool, and obviously getting a bigger release soon as well, so they're getting a kind of a new burst of life with new good old Saurus warriors, new Temple Guard style warriors, they're getting new good old Slan, they're getting new kits, they're getting new mounts, they're going to be pretty cool, and I'm not going to lie, I genuinely love the Seraphon. Big fan of dinosaurs probably, because, happy for days. Anyway, after saying all of that, let's move on. Let's move on to our crawl boys. So obviously the man-skewer bolt boys, we get our kind of play sheet for them. So obviously doing the usual, you can roll for your actual kind of traits for the units. So You know, these guys obviously being man-skewer bolt boys using scrap wrought crossbows and poison-soaked bolts to slaughter their enemies at range. These aurochs are cruel, sneaky, terrifying and accurate, and ensure that they can that none can hide from a cruel boy's raid. Yeah, because, you know, why not? On the other side, obviously, you can give them their unit name, you can give them all their other bits and pieces, including their tactics. So this all adds to your game and your army. So, pretty cool stuff there. You got your how to build guide. So your how to build guide with this one, you are going to need glue. These are not push fit models. And, yeah, it's fairly easy to go through. I'm not going to lie, I personally would do this in sub builds. So build your auroch and build your crossbow separate. Paint them up, so then you can get all them little nooks and crannies without any too much difficulty. Once you've done it all, put it all together, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, and you'll be great, and it'll all be good. But otherwise, yeah, pretty cool you guys. I genuinely do like them, they're pretty good. So, good fun stuff there. Then we get our how to paint guide. Obviously, it's very straightforward. If you've already fully painted up your other aurochs, you're going to be doing this in very much the same way. So, you don't need to worry too much about it. Obviously, with the expanding paint range, you're going to keep on coming back to these. So, you will be able to kind of add to it later on. And, yeah, paint it how you want. But otherwise, they're pretty cool. When they're done, they'll look something like that. Or if you've got enough paints to finish them off, you can finish them off and make them look absolutely superb. So, good stuff there. Then we move on. We've got our playthrough. So, we're still utilising that side of a playmat that has them circles on it, because I don't know, but with this you're going to use Zandire's Truth Seekers going up against the Bolt Boys, Gut Rippers and the Beast Skewer Killboat, which seems a bit overkill really. Well, that's a lot of units going up against 4. So but otherwise pretty decent. He's going to obviously walking through this, there's a lot to go with kind of teaching you how to utilize every aspect of a game still. So we're still learning the basic rules of the Age of Sigmar game, and as we go on, these will obviously become a lot more simple, and they'll become a lot more, well, they'll become a lot more complicated, should I say, and we'll have new rules, we'll have a lot more to it, and you'll be kind of left to your own tactics with it and how you want to play it over everything else. But otherwise, these are pretty cool, and it's not too bad, and it looks like it'll be a fun little way of learning of how to utilise, especially the good old man-skewer bolt boys here, and getting to grips with them. So, good stuff there. Then, moving on. Next week, we have Stormcast Praetors. So, the Praetors, pretty cool, halberd-wielding units. They look pretty decent, they're not bad at all, and, you know, it's pretty good. Another trio of warriors for us. Issue 16 is our first bit of scenery though. Now, I like the Primal Air stuff. It looks pretty cool. It's pretty good little bit of like kind of scattered terrain. So you get 6 pieces. You have kind of like the remains of a creature in some rocks. You have a little pool. You have some fire. You have some smoke. You have some crystals. You have a big massive skull. So, happy days. Really good stuff though. I'm really enjoying Stormbringer magazine. It's good to be back in the Age of Sigmar as well. I'm not going to lie, I do genuinely like the Age of Sigmar a lot. And yeah, this magazine is pretty cool. We're going to get some other good bits of scenery, some of the newer scenery as well from good old AoS. And we've got a lot more units to look forward to. So we have more Stormcast Eternals, we have Hadron Overlords, we have Sylvaneth, we have more aurochs. So in the auroch ranks, we're going to have some good old regular. We'll have some good old grots. We'll have some good old iron jaws. We've got some. I think there's trolls in there, if I remember rightly. There's a giant, which will be cool, and yeah, a lot of good stuff. So really good stuff to look forward to. But on that note, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you sometime soon. Bye bye now.